So perhaps you're someone like me that can never have enough torches and has got a strange obsession, but you need a torch for every special occasion. And what I mean by that is, you got the big outdoor camping torches, you've got your carry-on torches, and your EDC torches and so forth. And traditionally, I would have gone for something like this, a cheap and cheerful special of Amazon from about $15 or so dollars that I use on the side of my keys, and it did its job quite well. Also, I thought anyway. And some people will ask me, well, why do you carry a little torch in your keys? I mean, you've got a torch in your mobile phone, it does the same thing. Well, I tend to disagree, right? They're never powerful enough, and I don't want to drain my phone battery as well, because that's its own headache. So I tend to have a separate EDC torch. But in my search for the ideal pocket torch or EDC torch, I came across a brand here in Australia which really took me by surprise. So as you know, when you look up something on Google or on social media, then you tend to get flooded by marketing by similar products and so forth. And this particular brand came up on one of my reels, and I thought, yeah, they look like little pretty cool torches. They were pretty impressive on the video. I thought, sometimes marketing's, well, most of the times marketing's probably overbaked and you don't always get what you pay for. So nevertheless, I reached out to the company and I said, I would love to review a couple of your torches, as that's something that I've done in the past and I tend to do regularly. It's something that I enjoy, and they were kind enough to send me 2 of their torches for this review. So the company I'm talking about is Nano flashlights, which is this here. Now they were kind enough to send me the Nano T Pro Aluminium and also the popular Nano S. And the Nano S is something that I've seen something similar online, which is when I purchased this particular Amazon cheapie. And I thought, it's a torch, how different can it be? One's a bit more expensive, one's cheaper. I'm sure they're like for like. Well, that's where I was wrong, and I will show you that shortly. So with these torches, I've got a few small expectations. One is they've got to be bright, and I'm a realist, so it's got to be bright enough as you can get from a pocket size or keychain torch. It's got to be practical, and it's got to be hardware and sturdy. And I'm going to take you through what I found with them, and although I didn't pay for these items, it's not a sponsored video, so I will give you my honest, truthful opinion, and I'll take you through a bit of a close-up look, and I'll take you through some B-roll footage where I've taken it out at night to demonstrate the brightness. But if you don't want to wait till the end of the video, it was bloody impressive, and I'll show you why. Okay, so let's have a bit of a close-up look, and we start with the Nano S, which is what I would like to call the OG. It's the original one that I saw online. From a features point of view, you've got 650 lumens max brightness, glow-in-the-dark material, 350 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, 30 minutes for it to be fully charged, 40-hour lifetime on the low setting, 12 months warranty, IP66 water resistant, which is great for the outdoors, as you know. USB-C charger, and it comes with a cable and rear magnets. So when you open up this little bad boy, just jumped out of my hands, you've got the nice and to the point manual that shows you how to use it, which is if you press and hold it, what it does, double press and hold, triple, etc. And it goes through the different lumens. It starts off at 2 and it goes up to the 650 on this one, and then how long you'll get on each of the settings. So for example, at the 2 lumens you get about 40 hours of operation, whereas at the 650 you get about 75 minutes, which in itself is still, you're getting it over an hour of use, which is pretty good. This one's got 109 meter maximum beam distance, and the Nano T Pro has 125 meters of distance. 1.5 meter drop resistant and IP66 water resistant. So we've got that out of the way. Let's have a look at the torch. So with this one here, as you can see, it is in a nice plastic, sort of polycarbonate. I'm not sure actually what material this is, to be honest with you, but anyway, body which feels very premium, feels very solid. You know, and if I compare that, for example, to my little Amazon friend over here, well, I can tell you that it is chalk and cheese. The fact that this one here, before I actually saw the Nano, I thought, geez, you know, that's pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And it's not a bad little torch. I'm not going to knock it, right? I've used it. It's come in handy. It's, you know, solid. It's got very similar features. But then when you get the Nano S, you really can feel the difference. For one, even the lens and LED globe inside, it's different. The thickness, the material is very different. The buttons, so you know, the button, which is hard to sort of demonstrate in video, but this button here, it's very responsive and clicky. This one, you really got to get in there to press it. So yeah, I mean, if I'm going to compare these two, it's not apples and apples, right? And you do get what you pay for. From a functioning point of view, you've got the USB-C charging cable, which it's got the little rubber grommet here, which you pop out, plug it in, and charge it for the 40 minutes, and you're done. Usability, well, very, very similar to, for example, this one here. So press and hold, and you get the full maximum brightness, which is 650 lumens. And I can tell you now, just putting it on right now, I can actually feel the heat on my palm. It is very, very strong, and you can see the way that the light sort of bounces off the table. It does have a pretty wide beam, and it does heat up. So the only downside to this, and I guess it's just what happens when you got so much power popping out of here, and it is highlighted right there, is it does get hot. So this aluminium part here, if you've used the torch for a while, and the first time I wasn't paying attention to it, I was playing with it outside and so forth, when I grabbed it, it does get hot. No, it didn't give me, you know, major burns or anything like that, but it is just worth pointing, because you can drop this in your pocket and you will get a very, very hot leg. So you've got the press and hold for the main light, the full 650 lumens there. Otherwise, double press, and it starts to rotate through the lighting. So this one here is the 2 lumens, so that's the sort of minimum brightness, which, you know what, in a dark environment, now I've got a lot of lights here in the studio, but in a dark environment, it's very usable, right? And I'll insert some clips later where I use this at night so you can see, and that's sufficient to get you, you know, looking through your keys, through your bag, a backpack, car, whatever. It's efficient. Flick it on again, you get the 20 lumens, which again, it is still pretty bright. Then you got the 30, I think 6 lumens, and the full brightness, and then back to start again. And then you press it and you hold it to turn it off, right? So double tap, double press, it's on. You cycle through the different settings, press and hold it, turn it off. Triple tap, and you get these top lights, okay, which have got, as far as I'm concerned, 2 purposes. One, when this light is on now, it's the same as if you've had this torch out in the sun, where it actually charges the body. So this here, it glows in dark. So if I was to, again, press it and hold it to turn it off, this here, which again, studio lights are not helping, the body itself, and you'll see it in the video that I will insert, glows in dark, right? So the body actually glows in dark. But back to these settings, triple press, and whoops, you can cycle through all the light settings. So this one here is the UV light. Then you got the red light, okay? I'll just adjust some of the lighting here. So you got the red light, press that again, you got the flashing red, and this, I'll also insert a clip, you know, there's many user cases for this, but you can hook this up in the back of your backpack, as you're riding your bike or walking in the dark. Put it on top of your vehicle. It does have some strong magnets on the top here. Put it on top of your vehicle and have it as an emergency beacon flashing. So many user cases for the red flashing. I love that feature. Press it again. You've got a nice steady light there, which was warm white. Then you've got the daylight or the cool as well. And then that also flashes, which again, you can use as a bit of a warning or front of your bike or whatnot. And the UV. So many user cases for this torch. The body right now is glowing, although it's very hard to see with all the lights, but the body itself is glowing right now. Awesome little tool. It does come in with the, I've misplaced it now. It does come in with a little ring that you can hook up at the back of it, which you can use to hang off the back of your keys. Okay, now let's take a closer look at the more premium model, which is the Nano T Pro flashlight. Again, this one here, from a feature point of view, it's 800 lumens compared to the 650 on the Nano S. Anodized aluminium alloy shell versus the glow-in-the-dark material on this one here. 350 milliamp hour battery, so the battery is the same size. 30-minute fully charged, same. 40-hour lifetime on low, also the same across both. Same warranty, IP66 as well, and USB-C charger included. So why would you get this over the other one? Well, let's have a look. Apart from the obvious reason that it is brighter, it also does come in with this little clip. So if I can just take it off, it does come in with this clip separately, which you got the choice of. So here's your charging cable. I'll put that to the side, similar as the other one. It comes with this ring that you can put at the bottom of the torch, so that you can actually connect it to your keys, or you can also choose to put in this little keychain, and that's just the details right there. As you may be able to see, it does say that it is designed in Australia, which is always a big plus. I can clip this back on here. So now this becomes a pretty useful little device. One, maybe just to slip it in your front of your pocket, shirt pocket, belt, whatever the case may be. So it's got a very useful clip. Or where I tend to use it most is you can now get that, and I'll insert a clip, but basically slide it onto your hat, your cap, and it turns into a very useful head torch, right? So the user cases are pretty nifty. Then the first thing you'll notice with this one, compared to say, the Nano S, is, as I mentioned before, the body's aluminium, so there is a little bit more weight. It does feel a bit more solid, and it does feel a bit premium. The only thing is, this one here, this one over. Let's have a look here. Let me just test it on. Yeah, that one there. No, it doesn't. Okay. The only difference is this one here, the S does have with these two little magnets, which are pretty handy if you want to, connect it to the under your bonnet, top of your car, whatever, any metal surface, to use as a bit of a lighting source. This one here, unfortunately, doesn't have magnets, but instead you do have this clip, which you could, like I said, if you're wearing a cap, put it on your head, and it still doubles up as a head torch. Now, the other major difference here that you may have already picked up, the fact that this has got a clear see-through body does allow you to have these different lighting options inside. Unlike the aluminium, you've only got the one main light. Now, having said that, it is 800 lumens. Now, 800 lumens is bloody powerful, right? It is very, very bright. Here's a bit of a close-up so you can see the difference. But to give you an idea, same system as the other one, where you press it and you hold it, you get the full beam, full light. Once again, it's hot. Well, it's warm. You can really feel the heat on my palm just from this light, and it is bright. It's a bit pointier, the light, I find. So if I just compare Here's the aluminium, here's the S. Okay, these are the two different lighting sources. If I compare them side by side, and I've got some night shots which you'll also see, but it's going to be tricky. So put that one on, and then I'll put the S. There's a slight difference in color too, but take my word, it is brighter. Same thing here, double press, and that's a really satisfying click. And actually something I didn't pick up previously, there was a little green light that just came on the button. Anyway, there you got your low light setting, and then you can just cycle through brighter and brighter and brightest, and then back to the low again. Press and hold it to turn it off. There you go. Yeah, good way to blind you on the lens, but very nifty. Now, I can't say that whether I felt this to get as hot as this one here. I feel like this didn't get as, well, let's just test it now. Let's go full brightness for both. And the desk doesn't do it any justice, I can assure you. At night, these are bright. Let's go have a look. Yeah, it does get warm. Not hot, but warm. I mean, if I was to compare any of these three, although they physically look very similar, if I needed a reasonably bright pocket torch, that's going to be all the way. If I wanted a light that I can use for multiple uses, whether it be, something simple as putting the, where is it? Oh, I just marked it up again. You can go through here and not worry about all the flashing lights and so forth, but having this light here, which is the warm light, you put it up in your tent, or in a dark area where you don't want to be sort of disturbed, you can put that on and use it as a light for that space. It is very, very sufficient to light up a, well, I wouldn't say a room, but definitely a small space without waking up the neighbors. So something like that could be very useful. Again, you've got the UV light, if you want to check stuff. It may be validity of currency on money and whatnot. There's many different uses for a UV light. But one thing that I do tend to use for UV lights is charging my watches. So no, not the Apple Watch, but on a normal sort of traditional watch, you can charge up the indices and so forth. So it is handy to have. One thing that I should also mention, the Nano S does have a nice little ridges there on the side, which adds to grip, so it makes it a lot more comfortable to hold. This one here, it does have this sort of flat section where you can align your thumb and your index finger perhaps, and it does have a groove there, so it's not that it's uncomfortable, but it's just different, whereas this feels a little bit more non-slip. But you know what? They're both durable, right? They're both IP66, water resistant, dust resistant, shock resistant. And I've been using them now for a couple of weeks. I didn't want to do the review until I've really had a good play with them, and I really, really enjoy them both. And sometimes I can't decide which one to take, so I take both with me because they're small enough. Here it is compared to, say, something like the Gerber Dime or the Leatherman Micra. I mean, these are small little units. If you're specifically interested in the dimensions, roughly speaking, this one is about 6.5 centimeters or 2.5 inches in length. Width is about approximately 15 millimeters. The Nano S, I assume, would be about the same. It's actually a bit shorter. Is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. The Nano S is slightly shorter at about 6 centimeters, or about 6 centimeters. So it is slightly shorter. It's definitely slightly thinner as well compared to the Pro. Although here it says 15, but the body itself, I can assure you, is thicker. So yeah, may not mean much to many. Sure as hell doesn't mean much to me, the thickness, because they're much of a muchness. But very compact, very powerful, very good value for money if you're after an EDC torch. Okay, and now I want to take the opportunity and actually test the little Nano torches in the dark. So as you can see, it is pretty dark behind me. And first we're going to go with the Nano S, the little baby one. As you can see, it's already glowing dark. That's because I put it on briefly before so I can see my camera settings, because it is pretty dark in here. Don't be fooled by the ISO and the lens. It is pretty dark. But yeah, that's already glowing, which is awesome if you're looking for it somewhere in a dark area. Now, if I swing the camera around this way, okay, so now I will put on the Nano S at full power, and as you can see, it is mighty bright. All right, that is full power. Now, if I go to the Nano T Pro, same thing, full power, and it is a lot brighter, and it goes a lot further as well. So Nano T Pro, this is the Nano T, sorry, and the Nano S. I feel like this one is a bit wider as opposed to the aluminium one, which goes further. Now, if I go into the triple tap settings, which is 1, 2, 3, so that's the white light, which is still reasonably bright. Tap it again, you get the flashing white. Tap it again, you get the UV. Again, you get the red, and one more time, flashing red. Now, the people may think there's some sort of a weirdo in the local park, but I can assure you I'm not a weirdo, but it's the only place I can test it where it's quite dark. Now, with the aluminium one, actually let's just so that's low on the Nano, medium, high, and back to off, extra low or super low. So that's that setting there, which even at that low setting, it's pretty bright. Next level up, and next level up again. Turn that off. With the Nano T, let's do the same. Press it twice on, so that's super low there. Press it again, one more time, and it does get a lot brighter. So really powerful little units. Now, what I do like about the aluminium one is that if I just swing the camera around to me, I will double tap just to put it on. I'll put it on low so that I'm blind the camera. With the little clip that it comes with, I now have a head torch. So very, very practical. If I need to use my hands to fix something, I need access to it, and here it is. So it does allow me to have my hands free of holding the torch, which is super duper handy, and I wish everyone else did the same. So kudos to you guys. This is an awesome little torch that I thoroughly enjoy using. Okay, so what do I think? Fantastic. Would I recommend them? Absolutely. And it's not a biased recommendation just because I didn't pay for them. It's my own truthful opinion. I would go buy these over again if I had to go back in time and they weren't sent to me, because I'll tell you what, they're very impressive. The only downside, something that you got to take into consideration, is that the aluminium on the top near the globe does get hot, as many other torches do too. And one of the reasons is because it pumps out a fair bit of light out of it. So that's the only thing you're going to be mindful of. Apart from that, very practical, very useful. Different user cases as well that you would consider. One being that the Nano S does have a few more different lights and different options and different mounting and so forth. The Nano T Pro Aluminium is a lot brighter. Well, it is brighter. It does come with a clip, which is handy in the package. Otherwise, you can buy a spare for this one. So, once again, although it's not sponsored, I don't get paid for this. I don't get any commission if you buy any torches, but I highly recommend you have a look at these and take them into consideration, because they're quite a good unit. The only thing you're going to be mindful of that I've mentioned is that they do get a bit hot around the aluminium from the light, because it does pump out a fair bit of light. So that's more of a caution than anything else, and most torches do that too. But if you're in the market for an EDC or a pocket little torch, I highly recommend checking these out. I think you'll get some good use out of it. And let me know in the comments what you think. Have you used these before? Is there something else that you've used that's very similar perhaps? I'm always keen to find out other options and what there is out there. Yes, thank you for tuning in. My name is Sash and this is ST Reviews. Goodbye.